Okay, let's start this Let's Play. I tried to start it earlier and then it just randomly stopped. So, hi, my name's Siggy. This is a My Sims. No, this is a Sims 4 Let's Play that I'm going to be kind of recording, posting about on my TikTok, on my Instagram. It's based off of a book I'm writing about the Rosens. Um, I'm also going to be like gaming here or there. I play Genshin Impact quite a bit. Sometimes I'll play Disney Dreamlight Valley. Sometimes I'll play um, Hogwarts Legacy. Sometimes I might even be playing like, I don't know, Skyrim. Depends what I feel like that day. So let's jump into the families, all right? And who some of the main characters are here. So we'll start with the main Rosen family.
Wimple Oatsy!
So this is Sasha Rosen. She is a mom, obviously. She is the mom. She is a world famous celebrity. She's a geek, a love bug, and creative. She's also a brat. These are additional traits from Kawaii Stacy, who is amazing, absolutely phenomenal. If you ever want to go and download some of her mods, they're great. A brat is pretty much just like, literally, she's just bratty, you know, like she's just kind of like a little bit petty. She's a diva, you know, but she is like very type A. She wants to get things done. She loves her family very much, but she's very driven, and kind of a little bit needy, a little bit like, you know, like just kind of bratty, like will make side comments. Like if you don't say good morning to her right away, it's just like, oh, we're having that kind of morning, you know, like, or, oh, somebody's sassy today. Things like that. That is very much her and who she is as a person. I love her so much. She's great. So her husband Arnie is kind of almost the opposite of her. He is a nerd brain. I'm pretty sure he's an electrical engineer for his job. He's a geek, he's lazy, and he's a goofball. He's very laid back. I wouldn't say he isn't type A because he's an electrical engineer. But family, home life wise, he really does submit a lot to Sasha in a lot of ways. In like day to day. In the book that I'm writing, he actually moves them to his family home after his parents die, and that's kind of where the book starts, with like them moving from like a city life where, you know, everybody's kind of happy, things are going good, to country, and it's just like that transition of like, oh my god, you know. So the day to day, he's just very laid back, kind of lets the kids do whatever they want, and lets Sasha kind of do whatever she needs to do. So this is Esme, their youngest daughter. Esme is very much like a wallflower. She is a whiz kid and she loves art. She wants to be an artist when she grows up. She likes painting. She likes sculpting. She likes tattooing. She likes drawing. She loves everything art. She loves going to art museums. She's very much like a city girl at heart, much like her entire family at this point. And she's almost like overlooked and forgotten about. I'm not going to say that she was like an accident. I would say the twins were more of like an accident for Arnie and Sasha, because most people aren't expecting to have twins. But I think that Esme was just like a third child that they never expected to have. Sasha kind of always wanted 3, but after the twins, she really didn't think she was ever going to have more, because when you have twins and they're infants, it's a lot. And for Sasha, it was a lot, and she probably wouldn't have gotten through it without Arnie. because Arnie really, he's a great dad. He really is. He was there a lot for the kids when they were younger, before he kind of went off and worked and traveled for work, and left Sasha to kind of like be super independent and take charge of the kids all the time. But Esme was just kind of like, oh, great, I'm pregnant again, and I hope it's not twins again. And it wasn't, luckily. But growing up with two older siblings that are twins, that are very much so like, you know, they kind of take over like the spotlight a little bit. She just kind of like blended into the background, and she's totally okay with that. She's totally fine with that. She kind of gets to do whatever she wants, and nobody really notices. Like she bleached her own hair, and she cut it one day, and literally for like a week, almost nobody said anything until James, her older brother, was like, "What the fuck? What did you do to your head?" And Esme was like, I'm just having fun with it. Like, fuck off. I don't really care what you think. Sasha was thrilled. She loved it. So, those are the main Rosens. Now, Esme's going to be aging up probably next episode. I'd say she's probably about, I don't know, 15, 16. She's about 2 years younger than the twins. And the twins just turned 18. They just aged up. They just graduated. Let's go into James and Olive. Really quick though. So, they had a friend group when they moved to Copperdale? Yeah, Copperdale. Love met Jess, who is not here, and they kind of like formed a friend group in book club, and then James joined theater club and met more people. So let's jump in here, because Olive is also a very interesting character. So James and Olive started dating. They met in theater club. Olive, honestly, Olive Tinker comes from the Tinker family in Evergreen Harbor. Her moms ended up having her and adopting more kids. So there are quite a few Tinkers. Jess Tinker and Dame Tinker, and then a couple kids that Esme is friends with. Olive is the only one that was actually not adopted. She was birthed. I think Yasmin is her mom. Yeah. So in this game and in the books, they're a very wealthy family. They're like almost like tech bros, but they're tech women. Really got into crypto. They really don't have traditional jobs. Because they live in a small town and they're lesbians, and so they kind of like almost work from home, and they're very like aloof and removed. So Olive really wanted to go into Broadway. She wanted to go into literally just Broadway. Like, she wanted to move to the city, and she wanted to be in plays, and that's pretty much all she wanted to do, was just be a Broadway actress. James, or Jamie, has kind of like bigger, he wants to be like a world famous celebrity. He doesn't want to just do Broadway. He does like doing plays, but he has bigger goals. So, he knows his mom. His mom knew the Orange Bailey Moons, and that's how he became friends with Orange. That's one of his good friends, actually. So, Olive met him and almost like rejected Jamie. And they just kind of became friends. And Olive didn't really date very often. She was just kind of like, you know what, I'm literally just focused on Broadway. Like, that's my only goal, really, is Broadway. And she's like gorgeous, you know, she's half Asian. She's just like, she bleaches her hair, she takes care of herself, she does her makeup. She really cares about her look, she cares about her weight. She works out. And you know, she did like Jamie a lot. She really did. But she was so focused on Broadway that she was like, I don't have room for anything else in my life right now. But, you know, she finally gave in to those feelings, and she was like, okay, like, I do really like you, and maybe we can figure this out, you know, like, you support me. And he does. He's incredibly supportive of her. He's a really nice kid. He has a slight drug problem, but he really does love his family. He loves his sister. He's just sweet. He's a very sweet kid. He's a genius. He's outgoing. He's creative. Olive is still kind of 17 right now in game, even though I'm gonna age her up. She's just pregnant, so I can't age her up. She's like, I'd probably say she's like 19 or 20. She's a little bit older than James and Love. She's a bookworm, and she's a cutie. So cutie sims are just kind of like very like sweet. This is another Kawaii Stacy additional trait. Very sweet, very like, just like, oh my goodness, like, you know, you're watching TV and you see like very empathetic, you know, like cries at TikToks, like, oh no, like I need to make cookies right now to make this person happy. She's very sweet, she is. They're both just really nice people. Well, one night they went out to drink, and Olive got too drunk, and they hadn't, you know, done the deed yet, and they hooked up, and it only takes one time, and now she's pregnant. So, as of right now, those dreams for Hollywood are kind of out of the picture. I can't remember if James is enrolled in college. I don't think he is. I think he's just starting like low-level actor, like commercial stuff. He has quite a few connections, so that would make sense. That he would just kind of like, he doesn't really need the degree. I have been playing like off screen with this family, so he does have kind of like higher skill levels. Jamie is thrilled. He, again, like, is supporting Olive's family, kind of like her parents, like, were like, no, like, you can't stay here, you can't do this, you know, like, absolutely not, no. This is crazy. And she's like, you know, I know it's crazy, but I know if I have this kid, after I have the kid, Jamie will 100% support me in doing Broadway. Like, he just will. Like, that's just who he is, and that's their plan, you know? Like, she is really upset about being pregnant right now. She didn't really ever see herself having kids. She literally just saw herself living in the city for the next 10 years and doing Broadway, and then maybe, you know, getting some sort of job in advertisement or something in the industry, and then maybe when she was like 30, late 30s, having kids. Not when she was like 19, 20, you know, like having a kid. So she is not happy about this, but she trusts Jamie, and she knows that, you know, it'll be okay. So that's Olive and James. Let's jump into Love's household and kind of go into where she's at right now. Where are they? Right here.
Gusha Blanco.
Alright, so yes, this is Knox Greenberg, and this is Love. So Love is a party animal. She's an overachiever, a dance machine, and a perfectionist. She is very much so like, let me think about who I'd compare her to. I'd compare Jamie to, like, have any of you seen, like, No, like James is like kind of like that like quiet kid who's like secretly driven behind the scenes, but like gives like that I don't care attitude, or like he can really fly by the seat of his pants. You know, like he got straight A's and like honors in high school, and it really seemed like he didn't work very hard to get them. Meanwhile, his twin sister, Love, had to work super hard for everything, and she's like a perfectionist, and she worries about everything. Um, and that's just who she is. So, yeah, this is Love. She really does work hard. She doesn't really know what she wants to do job-wise. She's kind of lost on that a little bit. You know, everybody else in her family, she's worked really hard to get like good grades. She's in college right now. I think she maybe is like pursuing like maybe the medical field, maybe like art. She's not really sure yet. She just kind of like lost herself a little bit after the move. She's very like rigid, you know, like she likes her routine. She liked her schedule in the city. She liked, you know, she liked that she could kind of like she had her friend group. She was like queen bee at school. And then she moved and she had to, you know, last year of high school, a move, just somewhere completely different. And she kind of had to like relearn everything social wise. Like being a socialite is really important to her. And she kind of lost herself a little bit in that aspect. Luckily she met Jess. I'll go into Jess in a second, but Jess kind of took her under her wing, and Jess was the queen bee of the school. So for the first time in Love's life, she wasn't really like leading anybody. Like of her siblings, she was kind of the boss. Sasha kind of let her be the boss. She's like, you know, the favorite, almost the favorite child. She's her dad's favorite child. Very much a daddy's girl, like kind of gets her way, almost a little bit bratty too. I'll probably give her like the brat trait. She's just like she just doesn't really know what she wants to do. She just is like, right now she's living with her boyfriend, and Knox is her boyfriend, and everybody's just kind of like, why are you dating Knox? Knox is kind of like, I mean, he's a painter. He wants to be an artist. He loves outdoors. He's a foodie, and he's non-committal. Okay,
Ooh.
so he is very much so like bad boy energy. Kind of a smart ass. Kind of does what he wants. He's very attractive though, and Love just kind of like likes his carefree attitude. And when she kind of like lost herself and had to recenter, she kind of almost dove into Knox a little bit, because Knox doesn't have any center almost at all. I mean, he really cares about the environment. He grew up kind of like learning quite a bit about how to be off-grid, like kind of grungy, kind of like rugged, kind of bad boy, and Love kind of like really likes that. She definitely has bigger feelings for Knox right now than Knox has for her. Knox is very non-committal right now. He's, you know, literally like he's still like a kid, you know, like Love just turned 18. He's like 21. He's, you know, he's just kind of like, he's not in college. He doesn't have any direction, and it's not helpful that he doesn't have any direction, because then Love doesn't have any like motivation to get any direction. So they're kind of almost like they're toxic for each other. They don't necessarily fight, but they're not really like making each other better. You know what I mean? Like that couple that's just like mutually destructive couple. That's them. So that's kind of where we're starting with that. And Love also has another love interest, which we'll get into in a second. We'll jump into Jess and Jess. This is Jess, this is Oren, and this is Damon. These are some Tinkers.
Very nice.
So Jess Tinker was adopted by Olive's moms. She is just like super bubbly and sweet. She wants to be admired. She doesn't necessarily want to be a celebrity. I think she wants to be more like a trendsetter, like almost like a Vera Wang type. She goes to thrift stores a lot. She makes outfits on to resell. She like very much likes fashion. She's kind of childish and she's a goofball. So she's like very fun, very free, very flirty. And she was kind of like the queen bee in high school. But it didn't really matter to her, you know. She just likes being friends with people because she is like a nice person. It wasn't really about like status for her. Like for Love, it was about status and power. For Jess, it was just about being like friends with everybody and making people feel good and having fun. So Jess is just like that girl who just like likes to have fun. She is dating and is probably going to get married to Orange Bailey Moon. We all know the Bailey Moons from The Sims 4. This is their son, all grown up. I would probably describe him as, if you've ever seen Tell Me Lies, Wrigley. He's just like super goofy. He wants to be a celebrity. He's outgoing. He's nosy. He's a bro. He's just kind of derpy, very golden retriever energy. Oh, what's going on here? Okay. I love it when The Sims does that, don't you? Did I not edit his outfits? Oh gosh. Here we go. Yeah, he's just like goofy. And him and Jess have been dating literally almost their entire lives. They met when they were in elementary school. They're high school sweethearts. They're gonna be together forever. They just like, they're literally soulmates. And they love each other completely. This is Damon Tinker. He's another one of Olive's siblings that was adopted. He is a doctor. He's very like straight edge, like to the point. He dated Elsa all throughout high school. And they're about to go through a breakup. I'd say he's probably the oldest. He is 23, where everybody else is like 21 and under. He's a doctor. He's very straight edge. He dated Elsa. They met when he was pretty much like, she was a freshman and he was in like 11th grade. And they've just kind of been dating. Elsa's very smart, so she jumped grades. She's a little bit younger. She's like 20, 21. This is Love's other love interest. And in the books, what ends up happening is they see each other and they fall in love immediately. Love and Nox are kind of like enemies to lovers, where Damon and Love are like love at first sight. He's the perfect man. Like, he really, like, he's super caring, he's super kind. He takes care of people. I mean, he's a doctor, you know what I mean? Like, he's wealthy, he has a lot of goals and aspirations, he takes care of himself. But right now, Love is just not into that. So, her and Damon are really good friends, though, and they do have a little bit of a romance bar. but she's with Knox right now,
Ah.
because that's what she's doing with her life. And he is in, the early stages of being a doctor. So he wants to be chief of staff one day, and he's gonna get there. So that's Damon. And we'll jump into the last household, I think, which is Elsa. Elsa and Damon dated all throughout high school, and then she moved in with her best friend and discovered that, oh, you're more than my best friend. Yeah, so Damon and Elsa broke up. And Damon was totally cool about it. He was like, I just want you to be happy.
Subi Web.
He almost cheated on Elsa with love anyway, so he kind of knew that maybe this wasn't real. And Elsa was kind of almost removed the whole time from their relationship anyway, because she was a lesbian and she didn't know it. She didn't, they didn't sleep together, they didn't really kiss, she wasn't very affectionate, and Damon just kind of like let her be. They are really good friends, and they were really good friends. They had known each other a very, very long time. So, Damon just kind of thought this is what relationships are, and Elsa kind of thought the same, like, oh, I'm supposed to be with man, so, I guess this is just what this is. We'll be friends, we'll hold hands, we'll go out to the movies. She's also going to be in the medical field. She just wants inner peace now. She is discovering herself. She's living in the city with her now girlfriend. And she's just kind of like trying to heal and become who she's meant to be. She's cheerful, she loves music, and she is romantically reserved. She's still kind of romantically reserved. She's still kind of discovering things about herself, like, what she likes, what she doesn't like, what she feels like is okay. She's just very much so like almost aromantic a little bit, and asexual a little bit. And then here's her girlfriend, Olivia Kim Lewis. So Olivia grew up kind of wealthy, only child, very interesting family. I would love to go into the lore of the Kim Lewises, and I probably should, because they seem very weird to me. Olivia does not look like Alice's daughter, and I feel like if I read about it, she's not. So, but we're not going to get into that. Olivia is very fun. She wants to be zen. She wants to be a yoga instructor, just very low key. She's a goofball, she's a bro, and she is romantic. So even though she's romantic, she's with Elsa, who's romantically reserved. And it works for them, because she kind of helps Elsa come out of her shell and discover who she is. So that's Olivia. She's kind of part of the friend group, not really. I think she was in the book club. She's very low-key, very quiet. She is a drug dealer, and that's kind of how she's paying for everything right now. Because being a yoga instructor doesn't really pay all the bills. Elsa knows that, and she's totally fine with it. She's just kind of again, discovering who she is. This is a very new relationship. She didn't really expect it to happen, and she is romantically reserved. So, she's just kind of focusing on work and school, and Olivia is kind of being chill and low key. So those are, I think that's everybody. No, it's not. Wait. There's one more sim, Antoine. Where is he? Antoine and Isabel. Here we go. Ortega. Now, Ortega. Let's go into that a little bit, because this is... She's also an Ortega. And if you'll notice, that is Orange's mom, Octavia. So this is her sister. Let's get into it.
Wangini
So this is Trisha Ortega. She is Orange's mom. mom's sister, so Orange's aunt. They're a very estranged family. They really honestly don't know about each other. Her and Octavia are very estranged. They grew up very differently. She just wants a big happy family. She's neat, she's generous, she's loyal. So she's a very loyal woman. She is older than Octavia. She's like almost in her 50s. No, almost in her 60s. She's just an older woman. She never had kids. She ended up adopting Isabel. And Isabel is a little bit of like a antagonist in my book. She is kind of that girl who, you know, eats the hot Cheetos and wore the Cookie Monster pants. You know what I mean? Like she's thick, she's curvy, she has tattoos, she's, you know, she does what she wants, she says what she wants, she says whatever is on her mind. She is very smart though. She meets love in book club, and she kind of gives her a little bit of attitude, and love kind of fires right back. And that kind of starts like their rivalry a little bit. She isn't super sweet. She's hot-headed. I need to change that. She just like does what she wants. She doesn't really care who she hurts. That's kind of like her attitude. And then there's Antoine. Now Antoine actually is Orange's half-brother. Octavia had a kid, and it was not with her current husband, and she saw her life and she's like, oh my god, I can't lose this, you know. And she found out she was pregnant, and she knew that it wasn't her husband's, and she's like, oh my goodness, honey, like I'm gonna go on vacation over here, like a writing retreat. And she literally went for like a year, had the baby, showed up to her sister's house, and was like, you need to take this baby. And Trisha is incredibly loyal, even though she hadn't seen her sister for like probably like 15 years. You know, her little sister shows up on her doorstep in trouble, and she's like, okay. She wasn't super happy about it, but she did it because that's just who Trisha is. She's incredibly loyal. And Antoine, you know, you can see it says nephew. You know, Antoine grew up, and Trisha never really talked about who he was. He kind of has an idea, because he kind of looks a little bit like Orange. And in the books, they'll kind of like go into, you know, him discovering that, oh my god, he is Orange's half-brother. And, you know, Orange brings it up to his mom, and she's like, yeah, like, I'm really sorry, please don't say anything. And Orange is like, okay, like, I won't. You know, like, he loves his mom very much. And they end up meeting, and, you know, she's like, I'm really sorry, like, I couldn't give up my life with my husband, you know, like, I love the money, I love my family, I was really scared. Her husband isn't necessarily mean, but I can see him definitely, like, divorcing her, and leaving her, you know, and kind of taking everything, and, Octavia she just wasn't strong enough. She just couldn't do it. So, and Antoine is like, okay, you know, he wants inner peace. He is active, and he's a foodie. He's probably the youngest in the group. And he is gay. I mean, like, kind of bisexual. Jamie is also bisexual. So these are the Ortegas. Antoine is in theater club. He is good friends with Damon. He is good friends with Orange. Kind of like Orange and him kind of like are a little bit opposite in a way. I mean, Antoine is very like out. He's in a small town, and he's the only out gay man in a small town. you know, I mean, maybe not the only out gay man in a small town, but like for a high school in a small town in the country, that is incredibly brave of him. And he is very, very brave. He's very strong. So, you know, he's just fun. He's kind. He's quiet. He's a little bit sassy. So, yeah, those are the Ortegas, and that's all of my Sims in this Let's Play. That's kind of based off of all of the characters in the book. And next episode, we'll kind of dive into some of the Rosens, because that's who the book is about. Every now and then we might jump into like Jess's world. I don't think we'll really jump into the Bjergensens. Like, spoiler alert, they end up married in the books, so they're going to be together. So yeah, I have quite a lot planned for the Rosens and their life. We can kind of get into like other townies. I'm going to keep adding townies. Right now I have the Goths, I have the Lotharios, and I have the Landgrabs. So if you'll look, that's Mortimer, and that's Dina, who I renamed Diana, because Dina, in my opinion, is kind of a dumb name. So this is Diana and Mortimer. Bella, in every single save file I have, leaves Mortimer for Don Lothario. I feel like Sims, lore-wise, that just makes the most sense. So Bella and Don have 2 kids. Don actually really loved Bella. Most of the time in most of my save files, Bella dies, and then he ends up remarrying Cassandra because it's Don, and he's a scumbag. And then he cheats on Cassandra with Nina Caliente and has kids. I have a whole other Let's Play where that's literally what's happening. And Bella's like passed on. I don't think in that Let's Play he ends up with Cassandra. I could be wrong though. I think he just ends up with Nina Caliente. So I'm sure eventually I'll have Miss Bella die. I always have Mortimer end up with Dina, because I feel like Dina, low-key, is like all about Mortimer. Like, she loves how old he is. She loves that he's like goth. She loves how kind of like low-key controlling he is, how everything has to be like black and goth, and he is Mr. Goth. And you know, after Bella leaves him, he's really heartbroken, and Dina is young, like a lot younger than him, and they really actually become like a very wholesome couple, and kind of like change each other for the better in ways that Bella couldn't really change Mortimer, in my opinion, or ways that she didn't want to change Mortimer. When you think about it, like, Mortimer is very like stiff, controlling, and Don is the opposite. You know, he's almost like one foot out the door all the time, and I feel like it really allows Bella to feel free, whereas Mortimer, for whatever reason, I feel like just didn't give that to Bella. So Dina loves that. She loves that she never grew up with like a father figure. Not to like put daddy issues in there. I don't think that she has daddy issues, but it just works for them. And then the Landgrabs, I always give them a daughter, who is not Mr. Landgrab's daughter, but nobody knows that except Nancy. So yeah, that's what's going on. The twins just aged up. Everybody in this apartment complex is in college or working. They're all just kind of having fun. You know, you move to the city. It's giving like girls, like, you're fresh out of high school, you move to New York City, and you're just kind of living your best life with your friends. That's kind of what it's giving. Except obviously Olive is pregnant. So that's what they're doing. So we'll check in on them. The Bjergensens are right in the building next door. Like I said, I don't think that we're going to be playing with them very often. And then, yeah, most of them are in San Sequoia or Copperdale. We've got the Goths here. We have the Landgrabs here. We have Lothario here. And they'll come more into play in Esme's story. And then, we have Greenberg, Ortega, Bjergensen, Spencer Kim Lewis. In the Totter Park Apartments, we have Bailey Moon in this mansion. We have the Rosens here in this mansion, and then we have the Tinkers downtown. When the new pack comes out, this is going to be, I think, a tattoo parlor where I think Knox eventually ends up moving to, and he's going to end up tattooing. Even though I'm pretty sure he's in school for art, but wants to maybe get into politics. I don't know what he's doing with his life. I'm sure his parents probably pushed him to get into like environmental sciences. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing in this Let's Play. And if you want to join. If you don't, great. I'll be posting about it on Instagram as well. My Instagram is Tighnari Supremacy, like Tighnari from Genshin Impact, if you've ever played that. If you know, you know. So yeah, and then I'll be posting the book somewhere, maybe chapter by chapter, as like Let's Plays come out. So if you want to kind of deep dive into like what the character's feeling in that given moment, like really feeling, you can deep dive into it and read about it in the book. So anyway, thanks so much. All right, bye.